Hey, you guys, and welcome to the night shift. The night shift is where we can come together and we can just talk about things that are on our mind and about things that have happened during the day. I wanted to put this together to kind of unwind and kind of check the temperature, so to speak, of you, how you're feeling, how things are going in your world, and let you have a little peek into mine. So, it's okay. We're not going to complain, but we may explain. So, today was pretty productive for me. Uh, I did a couple of sales pitches. I wanted today to kind of start seeing about selling. If you saw one of my banners on my page, you probably saw that. I wanted to kind of see about selling. I know selling online is not new, but I we have a we have a channel called The Drop on the network, and we have a website called OSP Deals, and we've put products and services and experiences on there, but I never did it live. So I'm watching this guy on YouTube, and he's talking about how he made like $37,000 in a month just going live and selling. So I'm like, huh, hmm, okay. So I start investigating it, and I've been signed up as Antoine. Oh my gosh, something an Amazon influencer for years, but I never did any with it. I'm like at the bronze level. I think that's like the starting level, and I think I promoted the DJ Osmo Pocket 3, which is this thing. And I only promote things I really believe in and I've used them so I can speak from experience. I promoted the Creator Combo Kit, this thing. And I know for a fact that I've had about 17 people buy it and I got like $40, $43 in credits for Amazon as they pay you in gift cards. And I was like, that's it? That was a lot of work, $43. So I haven't done it since. But I was like, wait a minute. There's TikTok. There's this thing called Whatnot Live. There's of course Amazon Live. There's Talk Shop Live, and then of course I could go live from our own network now. So I said, well, let me try it. Let me see what we're doing. And my wife can tell you, got a bit of a problem. Got a bit of a little bit of a problem with TikTok shop. Can't seem to stop. So in the past 8 months, I've spent almost $1,000. Now, granted, I don't go on there and just go ooh 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 because no. However, we did have a fire pit that broke, and I saw this guy selling one on TikTok shop that looked really good. It was really good price, so I got that. Then, I saw this little thing like a fidget spinner. I'm like, that's a waste of money, but it was really neat, and it was helping with manual dexterity, so I got that. And then you guys know our studio is way up here in a rural area, and there was a lot of flies in the summer, so I got this. Ooh, gotcha. Flies been fucking with me all night. Look at that. Another win for the TikTok shop. Gotcha, sucker. So I got that. And then I have the DJI, as you saw, and I wanted somewhere to put my phone. And I saw this on a TikTok shop, and you can put your phone right here and a DJI right here, and you can record vertically and do your streaming here on your phone. So I got that. I was trying to saw some wood for the fire pit, right? I don't have an axe, nothing like that. And I was trying to saw it, and it was really hard. And I saw this saw. It was like $30, and it's electric saw. You two plugs, and so I got that. Yeah, there needs to be an intervention because. So I said, well, I'm buying everything from the TikTok shop. Why don't I just sell on the TikTok shop? So I went on there thinking I'm just gonna go in there. They they made me fill out so much shit. I thought I was buying a house. I was like, submit my ID, routing number, okay, so I can get paid. Citizenship verification. Okay, sign this agreement. Make sure what I'm selling is complying with what the hell? How did everybody else who's on there have to do all this stuff or just me? So I don't think I'm finished signing up for the TikTok shop to sell. Oh, but I can buy whatever. So I did that today. I tried a few variations of live streaming, selling stuff. And you'll be happy to know I sold one of these. I sold one of these actually when I did Amazon Live. So, so hold on. So 17 people clicked on my link and one person bought. I mean, $3. $3. Not bad for 7 hours work. So I did that. And so I was like, okay, I'm feeling pretty accomplished, you know. Mountains and great things started with the smallest of things. On my desk, I had a when on my desk. So okay, so in my studio, the editing system bay is over there. Oh hell, you looking for your friend, huh? I just saw one flight go. Cool. Come with me. I'm sorry, y'all, but for some reason, flies and me, they. Oh yeah, come on. He done seen his friend get zapped, so he knows what this is. He's staying clear. For some reason, flies like to just. You ever had them just like, for some reason, right around here, in my third eye, they seem to just be like trying to hit here, and like I equating when like somebody that's punking you, yeah, like that. And so, and I know it wants me to go like this so I can zap myself, but no, I already did that. Not doing that again. So anyway, we're just gonna finish our conversation. Hope this doesn't distract you because I'm gonna get them. So where was I? So I did that. Feeling kind of accomplished. I got this little thing. So my desk used to be over there, but I moved it closer because all the displays and the sets are all over here, right? And you know, my wife is actually her workstation's over there, and I like being near here her, but I'm in the same room. You know what I'm saying? So I could be like, hey, but this really facilitates me being able to go online and do things more and use the displays and do things like that. So I you know, so yeah. But another thing that happened today, and my wife and I were always saying, what let me just go back. What you feed grows. If you feed the negative's gonna grow. If I keep talking about how flies like to punk me and pop me in my forehead, that's all I'm going to recognize, and that's all they're going to do, and I'm going to be obsessed with that. So what you speak becomes. We have a lot of sayings here on Stage Plus and Success Driven. But one of the things that I saw on TikTok, and they were talking about, people have these like news briefs, and when I say people, I mean they're not actually news agencies, right? But I've noticed over the years that there'll be something on TikTok and I'll be like, what? And then 2 days later, you'll see it on like the news, like CBS, NBC, CNN. And I'd be like, I saw that on TikTok 2 days ago. Y'all late, right? So I have started to really look at the stuff that is on TikTok. Like there's an account on TikTok called Under the Desk. And it's this lady, and she's got this like Johnny Bravo hairstyle. It's really funny, but she would go under a desk and give these news reports. And at first I thought, this is crazy as hell. But she was spot on. She had verifiable sources. She's a real journalist, but she just that's her gimmick. She's under the desk. So um I started watching her. And then, of course, when you get an algorithm, they go, oh, you like her, you might like this. And then they start feeding you other stuff. So I was watching, they were talking about how Iran is like, we're done playing with you. We're about to take your whole electrical grid offline, and we're about to mess up your water supply. And I'm like, Now, about not even a week, maybe a week ago, um, for some reason, we had like 3 cases of water. When I say case water, I mean 36 bottles, and it was 3 of them. Today's Tuesday. My son came down first and said, oh, all the water's gone. What you mean the water's gone? I just paid that bill. No, not from that faucet. All the bottled water. Well, where'd it go? He said, and my grandkids, they're staying with us. Like he said, I think the grandkids got rid of it. Once they got rid of it, he saw one of my grandsons take a bottle, open it, drink 2 sips, and then pour the rest in the sink. I said, you didn't say nothing? He was like, well, they do that a lot, Dad. And, I'm like, and he started mumbling. I'm like, so she comes down and she goes, we're all out of water. We got to burn more water. I'm like, I heard that one of your kids did that. They didn't do all that. They might have did 1 or 2. If she didn't make the 1 or 2, they probably did 10 or 20. Fact is, all the water's gone. So when I saw that report about, hey, they might be doing messing with the water, whatever it is, and cutting off the water supply. And then I'm looking at it and said, they're targeting Michigan. And so I'm texting people in Michigan. I'm like, hey, y'all better buckle up. They said in California. I'm like, what we do? What we do? Michigan voted for his ass, right? No, not us. So I don't have, they mess with the water and what am I supposed to do? Could you imagine? Ooh, oh my God. I couldn't even, I don't want to think about it. But could you imagine um, the water gets cut off, right? There's a whole problem with the water thing. And then I go and I see one of my grandkids doing this and pouring the rest of the water out. And the water's cut off. Whole water supply is messed up. And he pouring out bottled water. I think I'd beat him back to the Stone Ages. And you cannot focus on what you fear because that's what you manifest. But I've been thinking about that a lot. And then they said they were going to mess up the electrical grid. Like, y'all, we're my other fear is that a fly will fly into my mouth. It's happened. That's all I'll say about that. But the other thing is we have PG&E. That's the utility provider in California. Um, and well, I think it's a Con Ed in Southern California. But anyway, Northern California, Pacific Gas and Electric. And it seems like if the wind blows, power goes out. If there's snow to here, occasionally we're higher elevation, power went out. It rained, power went out. It was too hot, power went out. Regular day, power might go out. So about 4 days ago, the power went out, and it was out for about maybe like almost 9 hours. And when I tell you, I couldn't do anything. I just realized how dependent I am on electricity. Now, we had got some calls for this company. Hey, PG&E's got this credit. They can put generators at your house. If you're a homeowner, no cost to you. I was like, bet. Their Tesla battery backups, whatever. I don't care. And I don't care. Bring it. He came out and he said, yeah, we can install it. I was like, why? He was like, yeah, because your circuit breaker is too old. You replace that circuit breaker, we can come back and put the batteries on there. So how much circuit breaker? I don't know. A few thousand. Is there a program for that? Not that I know of. So I started thinking. I said, well, who replaced the circuit breaker? Oh, we could do it. Here's our card. Uh-huh. So you tell me that you're gonna give me free batteries. I just gotta pay $3,000 for the battery, for the circuit breaker thing first, right? What if you're just trying to come out here and just get the business for the circuit thing, and then they go, oh, the battery, you know what I'm saying? So this time I got to pay $3,000 for the batteries. Stop with all the subterfuge. So needless to say, I was like, yeah, well, I'll call you. So we don't have any battery backup. So when the power goes out, power goes out. But I was just thinking, we do have a UPS here, which is an uninterruptible power supply. So when the power goes off, we have about 45 minutes of computer time, so if we're editing or whatever, it just doesn't go out. But the internet, that we have no control over that. That thing is out. So we can have all our computers, everything running here. We still have no internet connection. So yeah. So it went out, but then when it's on, it still goes at beep, just like beep. You got 45 minutes. Beep before your stuff shuts off. Beep, just be aware. Beep, start watching Netflix. Beep, stuff like that. So I was stuck. I was here, and I was like, there was nothing. I mean, I went outside, right? You ever have that, like the power goes off and the first thing you do is go outside to see who else in the dark, right? Because you're like, I know it ain't my PG&E. Is it? I told him I was going to make arrangements. And you see your neighbors, you're like, hey, power out? Yeah. Yes, too. Right? Because you don't want to go over there and be like, power? No, your power's on? Yeah, it must break. I think maybe a raccoon got in it or something. And they'd be like, he didn't pay. Right? But it was out for like 9 hours, and there was nothing I could do. I had to talk to my family. I was sitting there, so son, what you been up to? Oh, robbed a bank. What? That's what all the cops was here last week for. Go look at you. Okay. Learning stuff about them I didn't even know. I told my wife, I said, well, let's play some card. We got some cards. We started playing cards and everything, and that was different. I realized I don't really know how to play cards. I played 21, lost terribly. We played, what's that game? Where you got to get like 5 of a kind. Speed. She killed me in that. My daughter killed me in that. And so I realized I'm definitely not a card player. It was God telling me, do not gamble any money because you'll be stuck. So we went on out, and we're sitting at the barbecue center, and we're just talking and everything. And I'm like, we need to do this more often. This is so great. And so one of the boards is loose. And so my son grabbed the drill. He came out to grab the drill and plug it up. And I said, what are you doing? He said, I was going to drill down the screw into the board. And me and my wife looked at each other. We just started laughing. And he said, So we had been out there for hours, mind you. And so he just grabs the drill. He started laughing, realizing the folly, right? There's no electricity. So what are you going to do? And as he's grabbing, he touches the little trigger and it goes, Zoo! And we stopped. I said, whoa. Flip that switch and turn on that light. Because we got lights over there. The lights came on, we hauled ass back into the house. And that's when I realized we are really dependent on electricity. We were having a good time bonding. It was great talking about things we hadn't done before. It was really great. But soon electricity came on, I was like, I'm out of here. Okay, y'all bond my ass. I'm out of here. Let me get back inside. That's a shame, man. I gotta get more to my family. But if they mess with the electrical grid, what I'm gonna do? My whole business is like TV and media. What would I do? What could I offer? Oh, I'm gonna come film you. Who gonna see it? You know what I'm saying? Like these are the things that I think about. Now, let me tell you something else. I watch prepper videos sometimes. You ever watch those prepper videos? And I got really deep into it. Like I was like, okay, like how many cans of corn will last like a month? How many gallons of water does the average person need every day to sustain them? And you got this many family members. You got this, put water in the bathtub and you can use it. I was deep in the prepping thing, right? So I realized that if something happens, we probably got about 4 hours until we have to start eating dogs. We got about 4 hours of food. I don't have a deep freezer. I have a freezer, but not a deep freezer. I'm not trained in how to prep, how to prepare, how to can, how to store. I'm really vulnerable. And then if I was, what happens if my neighbors come in here and they got like 15 guns and all I got is one, or like that, I got a butcher knife, I go take all my shit. So I'm just sitting here thinking about these things and I'm like, okay, man, What you feed grows. Don't grow that. Don't feed it. Don't worry about it. Then I see this thing on TikTok talk about they go damage the water supply, turn off the electricity. I'm like, for a minute, I started to spiral, but I stopped myself and I said, nope, not giving into that. I'm not talking about that. I'll mention it, and then I'm gonna keep going because that's not gonna happen. That's fear mongering. But I did start thinking a while ago when I was going on the whole prepper thing, and I said, what skill sets do I have that in the event there was no electricity, everybody had to go back to an agrarian society, right? Where you growing your own food because the whole power grid is out and we just, nothing work, right? Nothing work. What what skill sets do I have that I could offer to somebody to say, you got some food? I need to feed my family. I need water. What can I do to offer you a benefit? I can go to somebody and go, hey, I can film you and put you on the TV whenever electricity comes back. What I do have is I do have training in emergency medicine. That might be useful. I used to tell my daughter, I said, um, what was it she was doing one day? She had, it wasn't one of my grandchildren. They had a splinter in their finger. And I'm like, okay, I'm trying to get it. I'm like, I can't see it. And she's like, Dad, oh my God, Dad, what are you good for? And I was like, I might not be good at getting on splinters. That's your mom's thing. She can get a splinter like a surgeon. She can get in there. I said, but I've managed more gunshot wounds, more stabbings. I said, more cardiac arrests. So I know for damn well I can manage those. I'm good at that. So when it comes to trauma, I feel I've got enough knowledge where I could maybe trade some things for my medical skill set. Then I started thinking, maybe I need to get caught up. Do I need to go back to medical school? Do I need to finish, going back to medical school? No, David, no, no, no. You're feeding that fear again, right? No. What you're going to do is you're going to make the great content. You're going to make stuff that makes people think, that inspires them, that motivates them. That's what you're going to do, right? So I stopped that. So needless to say, we got 4 hours of food and we're all out of water. And yeah, so I'm really, you ever want to test yourself? Turn off your power in your house and sit there and see how many things you start of a sudden remember. I need to send an email. I need to call that person. I need how many things you really need. Oh my God. And this don't work. And just so happens when the power went out, I had God, I had 17% of my battery. I'm looking and going, why didn't I charge this thing? Where was the little battery things? I knew. Let me tell you something. Let me tell you something from me to you. Anytime you have a thought that you're like, should I do that? Do it. Do it. Let me tell you something. Your first mind is always the right thought. I don't know how many times I myself have said it, how many times I've seen people say it, how many times I've heard people say it and experienced it where they go, I knew I shoulda, I coulda, I woulda, all that stuff. Don't be a coulda, woulda, shoulda. The first time, do it. Because I was like, I knew I should have charged my phone this morning, but I didn't. I figure I'll put it on charge later on. Now here I am, it's about to go dead and there's no power. And when they go dead, now can't nobody reach me. Because guess what? I do have a landline. I do have a landline. Sort of. It's a voice over IP. So when the internet went out, so went the landline. The landline. So I'm like, damn, can't nobody reach us? What if it was a zombie apocalypse or whatever, and this was just a precursor where people, like, I don't get the news, so I'm like, what's going on? And you just hear screams off in the distance, and you're like, what's going on, right? You don't know because you ain't got no electricity. And then my phone is at like 5% now, and I'm trying to go on TikTok to find out if we're in a zombie apocalypse. And just when they go, this is how you stay safe, and my phone goes dead. Then what? I was thinking we have bears here, mountain lions. You remember that movie that came out a few years ago called Cocaine Bear, where I guess somebody gave cocaine to a bear and it went crazy on a killing rampage, I think. I didn't watch it. I need to really look at that. Then somebody else came out with cocaine roach. Roaches got into the cocaine. I was thinking, what about zombie bear? What if somebody? I'm just saying this. I'm not just making this up. But I've been seeing stuff on social media. Okay, I know I mentioned social media a lot, but they've been saying that that you never see. Okay, let me go back up. Have you heard of the fentanyl, where people just kind of like, motherfucker? You see him? Did you see him? Just on my forehead. We having a good conversation. He just want to fuck with me. And I say he because I think it's a female fly. And then, maybe she attracted to me, maybe she trying to get with me. It's a fly, David. Chill. Damn. So you've heard of the fentanyl, right? Where they just like, and they standing up at this. I've seen it, okay? And they said that some of these people are like that, but they're eating like dead animals. And I don't know if it's real, but supposedly it's been happening in England. This been happening, I've seen in Florida. They've seen in Los Angeles, in San Francisco. And they're saying that maybe these people have a sort of zombie kind of ish thing going on. So you're never going to see about it in the regular news because they don't want to be alarmists. They don't want to let people know we got a zombie outbreak and we're trying to manage it, right? There's no way to break that news to the public. There's just no way to do it. So I'm like, what if a zombie bit a bear or a bear bit a zombie and then it became a zombie bear? And then that zombie bear is loose and he's biting other animals and then they become zombies. But I don't know because now I got 3% on my phone. How do you defend against a zombie? You come in a house, right? It's dark. What if there's zombie spiders? See, and that's how the shit happens. Now you don't went down the rabbit hole with me. That's what was tripping me out. So when my grandson was pouring out the water, I'm like, we go all be dead because we got 4 hours worth of food left and no water, and there's zombie animals at the door. Maybe I don't need to charge my phone because I get really good on the rabbit hole. Anyway, so that's what I did today. And I was really patting myself on the back because I said, it's a start, David. It's a start. You go sell some stuff. You made $3. Now they don't pay out, I think, until you get to $28 or $40. So I got nothing coming right now. But if I keep it up, if I keep it up, and I was wondering, should I just go back on there? I ain't on nothing, y'all. There's a fucking fly in here. I mean, y'all like, he be talking and all of a sudden he just stop and start, what the hell is he smoking? I'm telling you. There is a fly in here. And you see it? Did you see? Okay. They usually come from this side, so let's go over here. So that's just what I did today. So I'm thinking that if I do this every day, should I keep promoting this racket? Is that how it works? I went to Amazon Live and the video's up there, and I was feeling a little better because I was like, damn, I gotta do this every day. But then I saw one was like done 6 days ago, done 3 months ago, and it's still just showing on there. And I'm like, well, shit. That doesn't mean so maybe somebody else go buy something tonight or tomorrow, and I wake up and I have $6 or $9. Maybe that's the way it works. But I'm gonna see. I'm gonna stick with it. But I got a lot of stuff, you guys, I'm working on. So just stay, stay following me. We come up together. And what I want to do too, if you guys want to, if you guys want to like be on the night shift where we can talk and talk about things, let me know. You can be a co-host. If you ever want to sell something on the drop, let me know and we can get in. We can sell it on the drop because I really believe that African adage, you go further together. You want to go alone, fine, but you go further together. And all this stuff is not just for me. We got so much stuff here that I want to share it. So just let me know. I'm going to get out of here, y'all, because apparently this fly is trying to tell me something. All right, you guys have a great night. And remember, you have the power to do whatever it is you want to do. All right. And make sure you stock up on some canned foods and water because I don't know if that was real, but you know what I'm saying? Because, man, I'm going to have to do something. And right now, I cannot, I'm not financially in a position where I can just go and I'm going to buy $800 worth of food. Could you imagine buying all that food and then they just going through it wasted? No, 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 everything is fine. Everything is fine. Everything is fine. Gotta, what you feed grows. What you feed grows. Ask any parent. Okay. Well, you guys have a great night. And thank you for hanging out with me tonight. You are the best part of my day, honestly. So I'll talk to you guys soon.